Okay, somewhat in advance of it actually happening, but I thought I'd take some time to just step through what the Australia Post price increases, which will be relevant for July 2025, will actually mean to us Bricklink sellers. The information Australia Post have put out is complex, it's unclear. They talk about percentage increases like 1.65%. It doesn't actually give you a very easy breakdown unless you spend the time of comparing the two, and that's exactly what I've done for you. So let's dive into the overall changes. We already knew about this. Domestic letter rates are increasing as of mid 2025. It was stated after the ACCC's review and approval of the pricing increase. They let that one drift under the bridge, and now they're rolling out more price increases, namely across all domestic and international parcel rates of all varieties, all of their packaging, everything. Prices are going up, and we'll walk through these in some more detail shortly. Insurances, additional insurances that is, so beyond just the standard tracking number that you would get with a parcel, all of those prices are increasing depending on what services you take out there. Parcel pickup services are also increasing, and this is an example of the vagaries of their language. For trips up to 15 kilometres, up 1.95%. It doesn't really give you a very easy access to understanding what the pricing is. Ad hoc deliveries, they will now start from $16, which is inclusive of the $1 administration fee, which, why do I need to know that? Just tell me how much it costs. Services like scheduled morning delivery or afternoon pickups will start from $26 now, and clearing multiple post office boxes and delivering to a single address will start from $90. If you are a user of those services, you're probably a larger store and be well aware of the current costs incurred by those. Mail redirection and hold services are also increasing, albeit those are not terribly expensive services currently, but across the board they are increasing. And in terms of my business post customers, of which I would imagine most frequent Bricklink sellers are, as you will be aware already, insurance covers are increasing. So if you add that, you will need to calculate that. And despite everything increasing in price, the My Business saving bands will remain unchanged. All 5 bands will remain as they were, which may tip some people into a higher band and better saving. But if you are a user of those things, just keep an eye on them. Make sure you are claiming everything you can or charging everything you can to get those savings. So domestic letters, these are untracked letters. Mid-July was the date, mid-2025, sorry, was the date projected for these increases to come into effect. And as I said, they were approved by the ACCC, having been applied for by Australia Post to keep services running. So a small letter up to 250 grams. Now there are size guidelines that go with these categories, of which I imagine you're familiar with, which is why there are 3 different kind of large letters, but these are ones that I tend to use, so the ones that I've covered. So what was a $1.50 single stamps will go up to $1.70, so be aware as well to run down stocks as we head into July. Make sure you don't end up with needing to get a whole lot of bunch of 20-cent stamps to make up the balance. Large letters will see up to 125 grams will see an increase of 40 cents. That currently was 2 stamps. Now it will be 2 extras, so that's kind of equivalent to that. And likewise, a large letter up to 250 grams, where it was 3 stamps previously, it will now become 60 cents more expensive, up to $5.10. And then that large letter up to 500 grams, which was a bit of an outlier in that pricing, is actually gone up by $1. So from $7.50 it has jumped to $8.50, a $1 increase on that larger letter. So let's take a look at the categories. The big news, I guess, is this introduction of a parcel rate for under 250 grams specifically. I mean, it was a bit of a blanket catch-all previously. This has been driven pretty much by eBay requiring tracking for even small items. It isn't as cheap as stamps, no way, but it does give you a tracking number, which if you've experienced the occasional buyer not receiving their item or saying they haven't received their item because there is no tracking even though they've opted for that option, this perhaps gives you a cheaper option, although it is still more expensive than the heaviest domestic letter rate, which goes up to 500 grams, which would be $7.50 for that currently. Small parcel, medium parcel, large parcel and extra large parcel, these are all under 5 kilograms. It's really kind of defined by the dimensions of the box, and for more details of that you'll need to refer to Australia Post's over complex packaging guide. But as you can see, they are going up. Small parcels up by 20 cents, medium up by 30, large is going up by 35, and an XL parcel is going up by 65. Now I've done the maths so that you can just apply this to your current shipping pricing once we get to July the 1st. But remember, if that falls on a weekend, which I'm not sure if it does, and you've got things in the post and things like that, you need to make sure you've bought the postage when people have bought the goods and paid for the postage at that rate. So just be warned. Domestic express packaging, again, they've introduced this new under 250 grams category, $12.70. Pretty pricey. It's way above the basic domestic price. I mean, it's $3 more expensive than the economy version of that, and equally similar price rises across the board here. Express small parcel going up 30, express medium parcel going up 30 cents as well. Interesting that they haven't split the cost of there, whereas we've seen a slight increase between the two on the previous page. Express large parcel 35, a small increase on that, and extra large parcel jumping up 45 cents. So not incredible pricing, but some of these are now tipping over into kind of a bigger number, which psychologically may have an impact on buyers. In terms of the international economy parcel rates, Australia Post break this down into 5 zones. The zones 4 and 5 are significantly expensive, and therefore I don't imagine, if you're like me, you don't see too many orders, certainly not kind of a volume of orders coming from those locations. So we'll focus on the near and the popular to start with. New Zealand seeing $1 increase on its smallest rate, similarly a $1 increase on the next category up to 500 grams. Over that 500 grams and to 1 kilogram, it is a $1.15 increase, whilst the next category is $1.35, and then quite a big jump from the 1.5 to 2 kilograms category of $2.50, and then beyond that they have a rate per I think it's per 100 grams that they will be applying. So large parcels are gonna be difficult to do. Now I don't have anything over 2 kilograms in my postage rates. Everything beyond that is requested invoice, but it's well worth noting that those increases after 2 kilograms, if you were making a large order from, or you are a large store that gets a lot of volume orders, could be very expensive sending internationally. Similarly across Asia Pacific, not too bad an increase. In fact, weirdly, the 1.5 to 2 kilogram increase is less than it was to go to New Zealand. Go figure that, as is to send to the US and Canada. So I really don't know how they've picked these numbers out of the air at times. But what you kind of see is that the price that's second is the price that the increase at the top of the next row, sort of. Whether that's how they worked it out, maybe someone just likes kind of sequential numbering. But $110 on 250, 115, 145, 175, and $2.05 on that over in the US category, which was already a significant cost. it's going up further. So even that cheapest rate is now over that $20 mark, and I think that is quite a psychological, visual kind of like, holy hell. 25.75 jumping up to $27. The 501 grams to 1 kilogram jumping up 155, and the 1.1 to 1.5 jumping up 190, and the largest rate only jumping up 220, which is still less than the increase going to New Zealand. Go figure that. Finally, the Zone 4 and Zone 5, these are the priciest of the lot. Obviously, the rest of the world takes the biscuit, but sending to the UK, I personally don't do that a lot, maybe once or twice a month, and those increases are a little bit more substantial. So whilst 125 was second on the list, we jump up to 130 for the smallest category, 135 up to 500 grams, 170 up to a kilogram, $2.05 heading up to 1.5 kilograms. And if you are sending over 1.5 kilograms, you are looking at $74 to send to the UK or mainland Europe, which is crazy. Zone 5, the rest of the world, it does come up and every now and then, but very, very rarely. And when you look at those prices, you can see why. 145 on the lowest rate, 155 up to 500 grams, $2 on the 1 kilogram, and 1.5 seeing a 245 increase, and over 1.5 kilograms getting a whopping $2.90. It is an incredible amount of increases. The third year in a row that we're seeing increases, perhaps not as big as the last round. I hope that video has kind of helped kind of clarify some of the price increases and allow you to quickly overlay these increases on your own pricing model. Do like it, do bookmark this one so you can return to it in July. I will be mentioning it plenty of times as we approach that in the vlogs and whatnot, but hopefully this clarifies the communication that came out this week from Australia Post and gives you plenty of stuff to work with for your own stores. Thanks for watching.